My first day in Melbourne, I arrived really early. It was one of the first planes that landed at the airport, I guess. And then I arrived at 12. No one was there, and I kept on ringing the door. It was very frustrating. And I couldn't call anyone because I still had my European phone number at the time.
This is my best friend Clara's first day in Melbourne, and she's stuck outside her accommodation building.
And then you showed up. You opened the door for me to get in. I was like, wow, thanks God you were there. And that's how I first met Coco.
She still calls me Coco, despite my protests. It was a nickname my nieces coined for me when they couldn't speak, and somehow it's managed to stick to Clara. She was the first proper person I met in Melbourne, and the first real friend I made after literally moving to the other side of the planet. We just connected.
We both knew no one when we moved to Dwell, and we moved into that big student accommodation, facing the same struggle, having to recreate a group of friends, having to get a phone number. And I think that definitely brings you closer when you've shared that kind of experience of like having to recreate everything really far away from home. I think from then on, we saw each other pretty often.
Then we met our other friend Dee, and we became this little trio that would see or call each other every day.
Coconut!
Hello, Clarinette!
How are you?
I'm okay, how are you? The thing is, though, is our year in Melbourne is nearly over, and I'm going to be going home pretty soon. I thought Clara, Dee and I would be heading back to Europe together, but Clara's not coming.
So I think that I want to stay here another 6 months and see if I can establish myself. I'm enjoying my time so much here. I think Melbourne is a great place in terms of like culture.
She's put herself in a situation I can't begin to imagine, because while I get to go home and slot myself back into my old life, kind of like a missing puzzle piece, she's losing all of her pieces. She's had her friends leave before, other exchange students who only got to stay for 6 months.
It was hard, but it was maybe easier considering that I still had friends. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like maybe half of my close friend group went away, but Eloise, Anna, Elsa, Ben, Dee, you, Flynn, you guys were still here. So it was hard, but it definitely will be different because my closest friends are going back to Europe. So this will be a different experience.
She does have a good reason to stay.
I'll still need to write my thesis. I might as well write it in Australia because I really like the place and I can always travel here and discover new places. I mean, who knows what I'll end up doing later on, but if I do go back to Europe, what if I start a job, when will be the next time I'll be able to like travel that far for such extended period of time?
I guess there is another good reason for her to stay too.
And yeah, I do have a boyfriend in Australia, in Melbourne, so that I don't like to think that it does influence my decision to stay because I would not want to base my decision on that, but I think it does influence my choice to want to stay.
And I know there are a lot of things she had to ask herself when she made the decision.
How would I feel not having everything that I've had so far? Like, will Melbourne be a completely different experience than what I have known so far? Will I like it as much as I am enjoying it right now?
But it doesn't make me feel any less sad to know that she'll be here without us.
Considering that, like, I almost see you every 2 days, you and Dee, I think that will be definitely harder. I think it'll be a bit of a test to see, is this what I want? Is this not what I want? Because at the minute, I don't think I can say. Like, I would want to say yes, I like Melbourne enough to want to stay there, but it's hard to say because I haven't lived it yet.
Are you scared?
I am. I definitely am.
I know she'll be fine. Plus, now I have family on both sides of the world that call me Coco.
I want to spend every day before you leave with you.
Because you love us.
Because I love you.
I love you too.